Emergencies happen, right? We've all been through the recent natural disasters, Christchurch earthquake, cyclone Gabrielle, Kaikoura earthquake. Obviously there's been a number of big storm events as well. These things keep happening. And unless you've been living in the dark in a cupboard somewhere, obviously you're aware, hopefully by now, that you should be prepared for those emergencies too, to have your emergency pack ready to go, have your emergency plan sorted so you know where you're going, who you're going with, what you need to take, and what your family's plan is. The question is, have you included your pets in that plan? I'm Dr. Cath Watson. Welcome to the PD Pet Care Vlogs. So it seems obvious surely that if your pets are part of the family, they should be part of your emergency plan. Have you actually thought about it though? Because your pets are not always quite as straightforward as maybe your other family members. We can talk to them. Do they understand what we're saying? Probably not. So if they're part of your family, they're obviously providing you with support, companionship, stability, comfort, peace of mind, all the sort of stuff that in an emergency situation, particularly if you're having to leave your home, is something we could all do with. But equally they rely on us for those same comfort, support, stability, companionship. So really important that we plan ahead for emergencies. So what are some of the things you need to think of? Well, number one is identification. Ideally some form of permanent identification like a microchip, because if they do disappear, and cats are particularly good at this given that we tend to have outdoor roaming cats here in New Zealand, they're going to disappear. How are you going to find them again? So a microchip is a permanent form of identification. They can't lose it. It's a number specific to them that's loaded on a database. All that happens is they get scanned, put the number into the database, up comes your contact details. So making sure those contact details are up to date is equally important. Obviously a quicker instant method is to have a collar with an ID tag and your phone number on it. But again, that's pretty easy to get lost, particularly in stressful situations. So some form of ID though, really, really important. Second is to include them in your emergency kit. Have some food for them. Have a bowl or a bottle that you can give them some water out of. Any medications that they need. Any comfort items that are going to be useful to help settle them. So bedding, clothing, carrier of some description, lead, collar, that sort of thing. So all those things that you're going to need or you use in day-to-day life that you're likely to need in an emergency for them as well. And then having an evacuation plan. Do you know where the pet-friendly accommodation or shelters are in your area? If you need to get out of your home and you can't take your pet with you, where can you take them to? Is there anyone anywhere around that is pet-friendly? Do you have friends? Do you have, probably not neighbours if you're having to leave, but do you have some other people around who can potentially take them on for you, and you do the same for them if your area is affected and theirs is not? And if you do need to transport them, how are you going to do that? Maybe not so difficult for a dog who typically jumps in the car anyway, but if you've got cats or rabbits or birds, have you got some way of actually transporting them? So a cage you can easily get them into. And you need to practice this too, because a number of people that tell us when they come to visit the vet that it's been really traumatic trying to get their cat in the cage. This needs to be something you're practicing at home, because if it's difficult when you've got an appointment to make, imagine how much more difficult it's going to be in an emergency when everybody is stressed and time poor. Then communication is also important, and by this obviously communicating with your pets one thing, but I'm talking about emergency contacts. Who are your local vets? Who are your local shelters? Who are your friends that can help? Have you got an emergency contact list that's printed out or saved on your phone somewhere that you can access if you don't have power or access to the internet? You need to be able to contact these people one way or another. Have their addresses written down too, so if you need to get there, at least you know where you're going. And then finally, doing some training, basic commands, socialisation, making sure that actually if you need your dog to sit and stay while you gather everything else, make sure they can do it. Really basic stuff that's useful for general life anyway. This is not just emergency preparedness, but if you've got a well-trained, obedient dog in a stressful situation, they're going to look to you for guidance, and if you can be as calm as possible but give them commands that they understand, then obviously it's going to make it much easier for them as well. They're relying on us. This is about ensuring their welfare, but also yours. Peace of mind for you if you know you've got a plan, you know what you're going to do, you know where you're going to go, and you know how you're going to manage your pets as well. It also makes it a lot simpler for rescuers if you are prepared, you've got what you need, and if you can take your animals with you. But more importantly, if you are prepared to leave with your animals because you've got a plan, they're not there trying to convince you to leave because you don't know what to do with them. So please, if you haven't thought about it yet, include your pets in your emergency planning.